So, have you ever caught yourself white knuckling a situation you had zero control over? You know that moment when you're trying so hard to control or to force an outcome, you're actually making yourself miserable. That you're actually making yourself miserable, I should say. Think about the last time you were obsessing over something that you just couldn't change. Maybe it was a relationship that you couldn't fix, that job situation that wouldn't bend to your will, family member who just wouldn't listen. How did that work out for you? When you look at Nipsey Hussle's journey from hustling on the streets where control meant survival to becoming a visionary who understood when to let go, you're seeing something that's probably playing out in your life right now. It's that crazy paradox where the harder you grip, the less power you actually have. And this isn't just about Nipsey, it's about you. Just think about what you're desperately trying to control right now. Maybe your kids' choices, your partner's behavior, that work situation. How's all that control working out for you ultimately? What's it costing you in stress, in sleep, in peace of mind? Today I'm going to break down why letting go might actually be your strongest power move, and why that thing you're clutching so tightly might be the very thing holding you back from what you really want. So let's talk about why we get stuck in control mode and how it actually blocks our growth. First, first of all, we need to get real about where this control thing comes from. So for Nipsey, growing up in South Central LA, control wasn't just a personality quirk, it was survival. He literally said it himself: in the streets, control is everything. If you don't control your block, your money, your movements, you might actually not survive. And for some of you, that might hit home for you. Just think about your control habits. Where did they start? Maybe you grew up in a chaotic home, and getting super egg organized was your way of creating safety. Maybe you got burned financially once, so you tend to micromanage every penny. Maybe you got your heart shattered, so now you try to control every relationship. See, these control patterns don't just come from nowhere, they start as protection. But the problem is they actually don't stay that way. What worked for Nipsey on the streets would have completely capped his growth if he stayed in that mindset. The same control that kept him alive could have kept him small. And that's exactly what happens to us. If you take a second to ask yourself, what control pattern served you well at some point, but might be limiting you now? That need to plan everything down to the minute, that habit of never delegating, the tendency to overthink every decision. Where's that actually getting you? Here's the thing about control. It's like emotional handcuffs we put on ourselves. We think we're creating safety, and at one point we might actually have been, but we're actually creating a prison. The very things that once protected you are now the bars on your cage. Think about it this way: if Nipsey had stayed in pure survival mode, there'd be no marathon clothing store, no community investments, no legacy beyond the streets, I should say. His evolution wasn't about controlling more, it was about controlling differently, about knowing when to grip tight and when to open his hands. So what's the alternative to white knuckling your way through life? It's not about giving up, it's about showing up differently. If you check out how Nipsey flipped the script on the music industry. So when everyone was giving away music for free or selling digital downloads for $10, he dropped his Crenshaw mixtape with physical copies for $100 each. $100, where most people weren't even buying CDs anymore at that point. So was he trying to control consumer behavior? Of course not. What he was doing was he was surrendering to a completely different vision and trusting that his authentic audience would respond. And what happened? He sold out all physical copies, and even caught Jay-Z's attention, who admittedly bought 100 copies himself. So just think about your own life. When have your tight control plans backfired? And when has letting go of exactly how something should happen actually opened doors you couldn't have imagined? Remember that time you had everything planned out perfectly and it all fell apart anyway? Or that time when something amazing happened completely outside your careful plans? That's not coincidence. That's life showing you where the real power is. What Nipsey understood and what most people most of us struggle with is that real impact doesn't come from micromanaging outcomes. It comes from being so clear on your purpose that you can let go of exactly how that purpose manifests. Look at his marathon clothing store, his Victor 90 co-working space, his community investments. He wasn't controlling every detail. He was serving a bigger vision and just letting that vision unfold in ways you couldn't have predicted. So if you ask yourself, where are you squeezing the life out of something by trying to control exactly how it happens? What might open up if you focus more on the why and less on the how? What if you trusted the process a little more and controlled a little less? This isn't woo-woo. This isn't some woo-woo spiritual concept. Even top performers know this truth. They call it the flow state, that peak performance zone where you're fully engaged, not overthinking, where you're present but not controlling. It's where the magic happens, where your best work emerges. And Nipsey wasn't about passive surrender. He was about active alignment, being so crystal clear on his purpose while staying flexible about exactly how that purpose would unfold. That's where the real power move happens. Here's where it gets even deeper. Want to know the ultimate control illusion? It's even thinking that we can cheat death. It's forgetting we're mortal. Nipsey's whole marathon concept wasn't just a cool brand name. It was a perspective shift, seeing beyond what's right in front of you to what might outlast you. When you actually get that your time is limited, you start asking different questions. Not how can I control the situation, but what's actually worth my limited time here? If you think about for a moment when you faced, for some of you, your own mortality or limitations, maybe through illness, losing someone, hitting a major life wall, didn't something shift in your priorities? Didn't some of the stuff you were addressing or stressing about suddenly seem small? Think about it. That's not depression, it's clarity. It's what happens when the ultimate illusion of control gets shattered and you see what really matters. Nipsey wasn't focused on quick wins or immediate control. He was playing a longer game, investing in his community, building economic empowerment, creating something that would continue beyond his physical presence. And tragically, that's exactly what happened. Ask yourself honestly, how much of your energy goes into controlling today's minor details versus creating something meaningful that could outlast you? What would your priorities look like if you fully embraced that you can't control how long you'll be here? This isn't about being morbid, okay? It's about getting real. When you accept the ultimate lack of control, something just shifts within you. You stop sweating the small stuff. You focus on impact over appearance. You build legacy over luxury. The psychology backs this up as well. People who healthily contemplate their mortality actually report less anxiety and more purposeful action. It's like once you accept that the one thing you absolutely can't control, you get clarity about what you actually can influence. So what's your version of Nipsey's marathon thinking? What are you building that matters beyond today's problems and dreams? What would change if you shifted from controlling immediate circumstances to creating meaningful impact? So what's the move here? It's not about swinging from control freak to totally passive. It's about finding that sweet spot, that spot in the middle. If you take a look at your own patterns, do you tend to grip too tight, planning and managing every detail until you're stressed and everyone around you is walking on eggshells? Or do you swing the other way? Swing completely the other way by giving up, checking out, saying whatever will be when you actually could be taking meaningful action. See, neither extremes gets you to where you want to go. The magic happens in the middle, what some call engaged acceptance. It's taking purposeful action without attaching your worth or happiness to exactly how things turn out. You think about those rare moments when you've been in that zone, fully engaged, but not overthinking, taking action, but not forcing outcomes. Maybe it was in sports, creative work, or even just a great conversation where you're vibing, you're connecting. That feeling is flow, of being both active and relaxed at the same time. It's that sweet spot in the middle. Ask yourself, where in my life could I use more engaged acceptance? Where am I either controlling too much or checking out too much? What would it look like if I take purposeful action while staying open to how things unfold? This balance isn't just some theoretical concept, it's practical freedom. It's the difference between being driven by anxiety versus being guided by purpose. It's working hard without burning out. It's caring deeply without suffocating what you actually care about. Your journey beyond control isn't about doing nothing, it's about doing what matters while releasing the grip on exactly how it turns out. Nipsey's evolution from street control to legacy vision wasn't about giving up his power. Ultimately, it was about finding a different kind of power, one that comes from not forcing reality to bend to your will, but from aligning with something bigger than your individual control. His journey shows us three game-changing truths that completely transform your relationship with control. That control mechanism that once protected you might now be limiting you. That real power comes from purpose alignment, not outcome management. And that embracing your mortality creates the perspective shift that lets you focus on what actually matters. Take a second right now to ask yourself, where have I been squeezing too tight? What am I trying to force that's actually resisting me? What might open up if I loosened my grip just a little bit? If this hits home for you, hit that like and subscribe button, as they say, and join our community exploring these deeper truths about authentic power. This isn't just about Nipsey, it's about you, your relationship with control. It's either expanding your potential or capping, I should say, your growth. The freedom you're looking for isn't in controlling more, it's in controlling differently, in knowing when to hold tight and when to open your hands. Your path beyond control, like Nipsey's, might require courage to release your grip on how things should be, but on the other side of that surrender is power that tight control can never give you. The freedom that comes from when you're aligned with purpose rather than attached to outcomes. As always, stay beautiful, stay connected, and stay conscious in the field.